It's your brother Walrumya. Back with another lesson, Lord willing to be edifying. I want to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Waharakakadash, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. And shalom to you, Akim and Aquaf, that believe and have faith in Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai in these last days, man. I got a lot of videos to get into today. I got a couple scriptures after that, man. Lord willing to be edifying. I'm going to start with the first one. Is going into a U.S. dollar being banned in Mali, man. So all these African countries are turning against Babylon the Great, man. They don't want nothing else to do with Babylon the Great, man.
The U.S. dollars has been banned in Mali. You heard what I said? When you are caught with the United States dollars in Mali, it is a criminal offense and you might face up to 45 freaking years in prison. The Article 16.4 of the Mali new amended constitution says people with the European dollars, the United States dollars, and the British pound in Mali should be charged with criminal offenses and a minimum prison term is 45 years. According to the Malawian military coup leader Assimi Gota, he said the United States dollars, the British pound, and the euro are always used to destabilize the peace and stability of West African states. So therefore, they are kicking the United States dollars, the British pound, and the euro out of their country. Guys, do you think America and the West are going to respond? Drop a comment respectfully.
Yeah, so these nations in Africa are turning against Babylon the Great, man. And let me get this right here. This is pretty much same guy says, this is Colonel Assimi Goti, current military leader of Mali. Upon assuming office in 2 years, he has expelled French army. He has broken colonial ties with France. He has banned French official language, man. So they are done with these Western nations, man. They are done bowing to these Edomite powers, man. So you see that they are not taking it no more, man. These countries are tired of being poor and not prosperous, and they have all the resources that you can possibly want, and they tired of the Edomites coming and taking it and giving them paper and nothing to benefit them for thousands of years, man. This is just like This is a protest. It's today in Nigeria, not Nigeria, but Niger. This is a protest. Thousands of protests outside French embassy in Niger earlier today. And that's today. I'm not gonna play all of it 6 minutes. I'm not gonna play all of it. Just showing you that they were just out there protesting. Thousands of so-called Niger citizens. I see the French flags, but they're saying that no, not French flags. They're Russian flags. They're flying now, and the Russia flag is similar to the damn France flag, as you see right here in the picture. The Russian flag they're flying. They turn into the Russians, man, and not the Western countries anymore. I'm gonna skip along a little bit. So that's pretty much what they did, man. They really just showed pictures of the crowd, but you see, they're wanting to join with Russia. Well, basically, all the nations are joining with Russia, man. Check this out. Over in that so-called Africa, the African nations are joining Russia.
Leaders and the most important man on earth, Russian President Vladimir Putin. Russia has now become the most powerful and most influential country in the world that is gradually shifting the minds of African leaders from Western supremacy to now turn to Russia. So currently, as we speak, the United States and the West feel threatened because there will be no United States and the West without Africa. Our African leaders are now getting wise and they are now turning to Russia. That means the BRICS currency is going to be the leading currency in the world as we speak because the United States has weaponized the US dollars, using the US dollars to destabilize the peace and stability of every country through the Western sanctions. Russia has become the best friend to Africa because Russia has now promised that they are going to ship over 22 million tons of grains to of 22 million tons of grains and wheat to African nations free of charge. What does the United States does? They come to Africa, steal our natural resources, and give us paper in return. Yesterday, the president of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, said they will no longer be trading in the US dollars. The president of La Guinea, Mamadou Doumbouya, has chased all Americans out of their country. The president of Mali have banned France. So African leaders are now getting wise. Guys, drop a comment respectfully. Do you think Russia is going to play the role of the United States and the West to steal our natural resources? Drop a comment respectfully.
Yeah, he do pretty good videos about Africa. But those countries see that America is pushing the LGB alphabet community, and Russia is bringing resources, man, grain and weapons. So they're not they don't want the same they don't want the alliance with the West anymore, man, because there's no benefit to them. As you see, all this is all of Africa stands with Russia. Russia checkmates the U.S. and the collective West, man. So these nations of Africa have joined with Russia, man. So it pretty much sums it up, man. It sums it up, man. And now, not only that, they gave him the ultimate goal. I mean, the ultimate thing, man. Russia did, man. He says Uganda shows off their new intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. So, along with benefiting them with resources like grain, they're gonna bring to them free. They don't have any debt with Russia that I know of. And in America and in the West, they just push debt on them, man. Give them loans and get debt, man. Give them debt, man. And like I said, they don't benefit the countries at all, man. But Russia has pretty much checkmated Babylon the Great, man. They gave them the intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. Gave them nuclear missiles, man.
These people are playing chess with our lives. The world leaders are playing chess with our lives. So the Ugandan president Yoweri Museveni is set to unveil his new intercontinental ballistic missiles. As you can see in these pictures, these are brand new intercontinental ballistic missiles that belong to the people of Uganda. This weapon was built right in Kampala, Uganda by the Russian. So Uganda becomes the first country in Africa to own this weapon. The United States President Joe Biden have condemned the idea and said African nations are not supposed to be in possession of such weapons because they don't know how to operate it. The Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni had a press conference and said that this weapon will be used to protect the Ugandan territory. So currently as we speak, Russia has finally become best friend to Africa. So Uganda is now in possession of the popular intercontinental ballistic missiles. So Uganda can now stand and launch this weapon in any country and hit their target. But the question is, do they have qualified people to run this equipment? Drop a comment respectfully, guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's a no-brainer. Yeah, they got that people can control them and operate them, man. And that's what's going to be the end of Babylon the Great, man. Shit, that don't make no difference. They got the weapon, man, and that's all that matters. Shit, they can shoot that motherfucker anywhere. As long as you possess the weapon, they feel like that's their protection, man. And Esau has roused these nations up against him, man. The Lord has checkmated him, man. Like the video says, he checkmated Esau, man.
What's up? I'm not really white power, man. I just came here for the fun. Fuck. No. I'm sorry. You can't just take your costume off. What the fuck is that? Don't get yourself in trouble over it. Don't do it. Please don't. What happened? You guys scared the shit out of me?
You must leave the area now, or you will be arrested.
So you just came here for the fun?
For the fun.
Yeah. So you're not a real white supremacist.
Barely. Leave the area now.
It's kind of a fun idea.
And that's how they do, man. They rouse people up and then they play the victim. But being a victim is coming to an end, man. Being a victim and crying wolf, that's over with, man. No one believes you anymore. No one thinks that you are the innocent one. You've shown your hand, man. And the Lord is finna checkmate you, man. And I don't know why that's on my spirit now, because chess is a very intellectual game, man. You have to outthink your opponent, man. And the Lord has He created Esau, man. So he been outthought it, outthunk him, if that's a word, man. He been had his positions already in place, man. And we're gonna start from the beginning, man. We're gonna start back when Esau took on the ways of the Hamites, man. That rebellious spirit, man, all the way back to Ham, man. And we're gonna start with Chronicles 1, 1 Chronicles 1 and 8. It says the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, Put, and Canaan, man. Those are the sons of Ham, man. And this is where Esau got this rebellious spirit from, man. He took on the Hamites' ways, man. Let's start right here. Genesis 28. Lord, wouldn't it be edifying, man? Genesis 28, and I'm going to start at verse 6. It says, when Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob, he sent him away to Padan to take him a wife from thence. And that it says, and that as he blessed him, he gave him a charge, saying, thou shalt not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. So Isaac gave Jacob a direct order not to do, man. He charged him not to take a daughter from take a wife from the daughters of Canaan, man. And that Jacob obeyed his father and his mother. See that? They gave Jacob a charge to not take a wife from the women of Canaan, man. A wife from the Canaanites, man, the Hamites. He says, and Jacob obeyed. See that? Jacob obeyed, but Esau never obeyed, man. He had this rebellious spirit from the beginning, man. 7, it says, and that Jacob obeyed his father and his mother and was gone to Padan, and Esau saw that the daughters of Canaan of Slakia, let me slow down. I'm getting ahead of myself. And Esau, seeing that the daughters of Canaan pleased not Isaac his father. See that? He knew there was rebellion. He knew that wasn't right, man. He knew there was it was going against a direct order that he gave, man. Then went Esau to Ishmael to take the wives which he had. I can't even pronounce these names, boy. I'm gonna have to. See if I can just get him to say it, man. Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, and the daughter of Medajoth to be his wife. So Esau, seeing that the daughters of Canaan was against the Lord, was against Isaac's orders, man. But he rebelled against him anyway, man. So Esau married the wives of Ishmael, but he also married the wives of Canaan, man. Let's get this Genesis 36 and started one. It says, "Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan." See that? That was directly against what Isaac instructed them to do, man. Jacob obeyed, but Esau didn't, man. Esau took his wives from the daughters of Canaan. Adiah, the daughter of Elon, the Hittite, and let me get this, man. Ahabilam, the daughter of Aniah, the daughter of Zimalon, Zibian, the Hivite. So basically the point I wanted to get right here was Esau took his wives from the daughters of Canaan, and the Lord told him, not the Lord, Isaac, which was Yahweh Shai, if you can receive it. So he told him a direct order not to take any wives from the Canaanites, man, the Hamites, man. And that's exactly what he did, man. Going over here to Matthew 19 and 19, it says, honor thy mother, honor thy father and thy mother, and thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. See, that's what Yahweh Shai said, man. He's supposed to honor thy mother. The New Living Translation says, honor your father and mother, love your neighbor as yourself, man. And Esau did exactly the opposite of what Isaac instructed him to do. Because let me get this 19:19. By honoring your mother. Let's get that.
Strong's G 5091. Tamao.
Honor, tamao in the Hebrew. To estimate, fix the value. So to estimate, fix the value for the value of something belonging to oneself. To honor, to have in honor, to revert, venerate. Fix a valuation upon, honor, value. So you're supposed to value what your parents said, man. And Esau didn't value what his parents told him to do. Esau didn't value that. So he went about his own way, man, because he said, Yahweh said, honor your mother. Let me read it again. It says, honor your father. I don't know why I keep saying mother first. Honor thy father and thy mother, and thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, man. So Jacob was his neighbor as well, man. So he went against everything his father and his mother told him to do, and he had hatred towards his brother, man. So Esau is not going to have any mercy given to him, man, because it was already written. But he has always been rebellious, man. He has had that rebellious spirit from the beginning. This is Genesis 9. And he took on the ways of the Hamites, man. All the way back when Ham got cursed, man. He had that same spirit on him. And let's start with Genesis 9 and 20. Let's get down to that. It says, and Noah begot, it's lucky. I don't want to start right there. Yeah, start right there. This is Genesis 9 and 20. It says, and Noah began to be a husbandman, and he planted a vineyard, and he drank of the wine and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw his nakedness, saw the nakedness of his father, and told his two brethren without. So basically, the curse that was going to go on Ham went on Canaan, man. So that's the reason why the Lord had Isaac tell his sons not to marry a wife from the Canaanites, man, because they are cursed on the land, man. They cursed on the land. It's going to get to it. They cursed on the land, man. Babylon the Great, man. Not Babylon the Great, but the earth itself, man. They are a cursed nation, man. It says, again, 22, it says, and Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his fathers and told his two brethren without, and Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon his shoulders and went backward and covered the nakedness of their father. And their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness. And Noah awoke from his wine and went and knew what his younger son had done unto him. And he said, cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren, man. So Canaan, the Ham's son, was cursed. So these curses extend all the way back then when Ham looked on his father's nakedness, man. And the blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans are not Hamites, man. We're Israelites. Ham is the African nations, man. With being the Sudan, that's one of the nations off the top of my head. Like the land of Egypt, I say with modern terms, a land of Egypt. Where Sudan is basically where the original Egyptians are to this day. A lot of those, I mean, it's so many countries over there. You can distinguish between a Hamite and an Israelite, man. I say it like that because I don't want to name every country because we're mixed among all these nations. But you would look at a so-called African and see that he's not a Israelite. Verse 25, it says, and he said, cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren, man. So the Hamites were cursed from the beginning, man. In the time of Noah, man. And that's exactly what Esau did. He went after, went against his father's blessing, man. Because he told him not to even go to marry a wife from the Canaanites, man, the Hamites, man. And Esau knew it displeased his father, so that's the reason why he did it, man. And this is Genesis 10, and I'm gonna start at verse 6. He says, and the son of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim put in Canaan, and the sons of Cush. I'm gonna jump down because I ain't gonna read all. I want to jump down to verse 8. I wish I could, man. It don't matter. The point I want to get is right here at 8, 9. It says, it jumping down to verse 8. It says, and Cush begot Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Wherefore it was said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So, Shalakia, Nimrod is who the Edomites worship to this very day, man. And their son, his son Tammuz, man. I know pretty much everybody should know the story about Nimrod. And also, Nimrod, they worship Nimrod, man, because Nimrod is also the one that built the Tower of Babel, and that's exactly what Esau has his plans to do now with the NWO, man. That's the same plans that Nimrod had, man. So he followed the Hamites, man, and worshiped their gods, man. He still worshiped the same gods that was in Egypt to this very day. And also another name for Nimrod was what's his name? They called it all the time, Gilgamesh. That's another name for Nimrod is Gilgamesh. They call and worship Gilgamesh. And they said before, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I don't know all the details behind it, but they were saying that the first thing they did when they entered into the war with Saddam Hussein was to get the body of Gilgamesh, which was Nimrod, man. And his body was preserved to this very day, man. So that's a, you know what I'm saying? That's just a off, you know, sent off on something else. But this is, I just want to get that point that Nimrod was the same. He was a mighty hunter. And Esau, let's get this. This is Genesis, Genesis, I think it's 25. Genesis 25. And 27. It says, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was plain man, dwelling in tents. So Nimrod was a mighty hunter, and Esau was a cunning hunter. And you know, cunning mean, you know, goes into being a trick, being, let's get it, man. You know, it means to be deceitful, man, tricky. Real, just a Google definition. He says having or showing skill in achieving one's ends by deceit or invasion. So he was a hunting by deceit, man. That's why Esau got all these bird calls, all these traps and shit, bear traps and all type of gadgets and shit. And the Hamites, they just, you know, basically they forced their way on their prey, man. You know what I'm saying? He was a mighty hunter. I can get, well, I don't even matter about getting a definition of that. But I wanted to get this though. It goes into Nimrod. I mean, you get a chance, you should look into this, man, because his I forgot his wife's name. But he married his mother and had a baby. His name was called Tammuz, and that's where they got Christmas from, man. And they was it Jeremiah 10:1. They, you know, goes into the tree. But it's just want to get this information on Nimrod real quick. He says, "What did Nimrod do against God?" And the Bible states that he was a mighty hunter before the Lord. See that? He was a mighty hunter. Esau was a cunning hunter. So he basically, you know what I'm saying? Let's get mighty quick definition. You know, it goes powerful, but he says possessing great and impressive power or strength, especially on accounts of size. So he was, you know what I'm saying? He was mighty. He was a mighty man before the Lord. Esau was a cunning hunter. See, he was a trickster, man. And he had power. It says later extra biblical traditions identified Nimrod as the ruler who commissioned the construction of the Tower of Babel, which led to his reputation as a king who was rebellious against Most High power, man. He was rebellious against God, man. And that's the same spirit that Esau has, man, to be rebellious against God, man. And like I said, man, they worship Nimrod as well, man, because they knew he was rebellious against the Most High, man. Serapis, Nimrod is Serapis, man. Serapis is the one. It was his mother, man. But I ain't gonna get into that. That's on another lesson. But I just wanted to get that Nimrod was rebellious, and that's the same spirit that Esau's coming in, that rebellious spirit against Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, man. This is Hebrews 12. And I just want to get the point in 16 and 17. It says, "Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For he knew how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected," man. So after he sold his birthright, he knew he would inherit the blessing, man. And that's what Esau is trying to get back now, man. The elite of the society, man. The Edomites, they're trying to get their birthright back, man. But he sold it, man. And he was rejected. So there's no way he can get his birthright back, man. It's clearly 17, it says, for ye knew how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. So he can't get it back, man. He was rejected. For he found no place of repentance. He couldn't repent, man. He couldn't ask the Lord for the birthright back because he sold it. And that goes into, selling your soul, man. And that's why he takes it to heart, man. He has these people pretty much selling their soul to him, man. And that's what he want to do with that MOTB, man. That mark in Revelation 13 and 16, man. That small grain of rice, man. The RFID chip. He wants you to sell your soul to him, man. Because he pretty much sold his soul, man. He says, again, 17, it says, for ye knew how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. For he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears, man. He wasn't going to cry his way out of it, man. And that's the reason why they think they can throw a stone and hide their hand, man. And that time is coming to an end, man, because his sins have reached the heavens. And the Lord is going to pay him back, man. This is Romans 9. Let me get to it. Romans 9 and 13. I mean, these just basic scriptures now. It says, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated, man. The Lord hated Esau because he was rebellious, man. The scripture goes into when he was talking to Cain and Abel. If you had, if you would have offered the right sacrifice, you would have been accepted, man. And that's the same spirit Esau has, the spirit of Cain. He has the same spirit on him, man. But these other nations are ready to turn to his ass now, man. They tired of being on the bottom, man. He done did all type of wickedness to these Hamites, man. Now they want to get payback, man. And the Hamites have accepted Esau, man. And that goes back to him choosing wives from the Hamites, man. Now they seeing that there's no no good in this man. They want vengeance against him, man. This is Isaiah 33 and 1. It says, woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealt treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee, man. So now these nations are coming against Esau. They got weapons now, man. They finna deal treacherously with thee, man. They finna deal treacherously with you, Esau. Because you done rape, robbed, and murdered all their people and put diseases in their land. Now they want payback now, man. They don't want nothing to do with you. They want payback, man. That's the reason why they want these missiles, man. Why would he want the missiles, man? Why did North Korea want the missiles? To protect itself from the Edomites, man. Babylon the Great, man. This is Obadiah 1. In verse 2, it says, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. See that? Esau has been made small. Let's get started at 1. It says, for the vision of Obadiah, thus say Yahweh Bashem Yahushua power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle, man. See that? The heathen are ready to rise up against Esau in battle, man. Edomites, man. And the Russians are Edomites as well. But we pretty much focused on the Edomites in the West, man. We focus on the Edomites in the West, man. He said, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised, man. And you Edomites, man, you Babylonian Edomites, man, y'all are greatly despised, man. They don't want nothing to do with you, man. You went over to that country and pushing the alphabet community, man. You're doing it in Jamaica. These nations are fed up with that, man. They don't want that in that country, man. You trying to push your ideologies and lifestyle on them, man. They don't want that in their land, man. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee. See that? Your pride have deceived you, man, to believe you can do whatever you want to people and they're never going to want payback. Thou dwellest in the cliffs of the rocks, whose habitation is high. That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, and the eagle is the highest flying bird it is, man. And that's how Esau is, man. He thinks he is the top dog, and he's never coming down, man. Though thou exalteth thyself as an eagle, and though thou settest thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahweh power, man. So the Lord said, you have extended yourself into the heavens. Now it's time for you to come down, man. And it might seem like a long time to us, man, but it's actually been a short time to the Lord, man. 1,000 years is one day to the Lord, man. So the Lord is just let him get his finish his kingdom up, man. Because Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, man. This is Joel 3, and I want to see where I'm going to start at. It started at 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat their plowshares into swords and their pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong, man. And these nations have got the weapon now. They are saying they're strong now. So what is it? I forgot what country it was. We just seen it, but they got intercontinental ballistic missiles now, man. This African country. That was just one African country, man. It's other nations that the Russians are building those missiles for as well, man. And the Lord has set it up perfectly, man. And that's why it says in Joel 49, I think it's Joel 49, Joel 50, says, put yourself in battle array or come against Babylon the Great, man. And that's a lot of African countries, man, that's in league with Russia, man. So the prophecies are popping right off the page, man. This is 11 again. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together around about. Hither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Let the heathen be awakened. See that? The heathen are awakened, man. They're tired of you Edomites, man. They're tired of this West way of life, man. Rape, rob, and murder in their country, man. Taking all their resources and not giving the people nothing, man. He says, let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. For there will I set to judge all the heathen round about, man. And that's the battle of Armageddon, man. The Lord is finna judge you heathen nations, man. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitude in the valley of decision. For Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is near in the valley of decision, man. So the Lord willing was edifying, man. I'm gonna end it right there, man. Shalom, shalom.